At that point, my chest still felt like somebody literally was just ripping my sternum out. I don't know how else to describe it. Just right along here was just severe, severe, severe pain.
Natty Hulkinator coming at you with another controversial yet important video I feel is necessary that we discuss at this moment. However, can you guess what's going to be thrown in the middle of all this? Because I know you guys are waiting for this. We got some squats. The bar's loaded with 367 pounds. Today we're doing 367 pounds. 5 sets of 3 with 2 drop sets for a total of 7 sets. So yes, my legs are going to be roasted after this training session. So as you can see from the title of this video, this is going to be about a incident that just happened not too long ago in regards to a bodybuilder. His name is John Meadows. We're going to get into the details real quick, but first, you know what we got to do. That first set felt kind of heavy, but we're pushing through nonetheless. So let's get to the topic at hand. So this IFBB pro bodybuilder named John Meadows, who's been in this lifting game, bodybuilding game, I think he's done some powerlifting, I'm not sure. Giant freaking dude, had a heart attack recently. Anybody who's been in this lifting game for a while will tell you that this is a very, very common occurrence with bodybuilders, as they are usually injecting lots of steroids and God, I don't know what they do. It's not my sport. It's not my thing. I'm not a drug user. I don't know. But also, and most importantly, what's causing all these issues, and they may not be aware of this or they may be in denial, is the fact that these guys eat a fuckload of animal products that are saturated with cholesterol and saturated fat. Quick disclaimer here in regards to John Meadows and his family and stuff. I don't wish anything bad upon him. I felt really bad for the guy when I heard about this, because I understand he has a couple kids or a few kids, I'm not sure how many, and he has a wife as well too. And so I understand that this can be something very tragic if it happens, if something worse could have happened out of this. Apparently he was like having a training session or something like that. He was lifting some weights or something like that with his buddy or his friend or something, and he had the incident, the heart attack. I personally know what it's like to have to leave your family behind and not know if you're going to come back. I've deployed 3 times, and each time it always scares the shit out of me. Being a former Marine and all that stuff, you know, you're trained for all this stuff, but nonetheless, it's still kind of scary when you go in country. So it's not the same as John. I'm just saying I know what it is to have a fear of not coming back to your family. And I'm sure he felt that when he was in the ambulance being driven to the hospital, because he potentially could have died from this. So I hope he gets better. I hope he recovers, and I wish him and his family only the best. But nonetheless, there's a few things that I think we need to discuss before we move any further. So apparently, John Meadows had a blockage in his main artery, and I think he had a blockage in another artery or vein or something to that effect, which is what caused the heart attack. Fortunate enough for John, the cardiologist was able to remove the blockage from that main artery that was going to his heart, I believe. And from there, I think he started to feel better, along with the blood thinners he was on and like the baby aspirin and all that stuff. So, I mean, that's good news. It's good to hear that they were at least able to do something and save the guy's life, because again, he potentially could have died from this. So the worrisome statements that John said was in regards to his nutrition. Essentially, I think he talked to the cardiologist, or he mentioned speaking to the cardiologist about diet and nutrition, and the cardiologist said that he doesn't have to change anything, it wouldn't make any difference. However, it could come back, the blockage could come back, essentially almost making it sound like this is just something that just happens and it's completely out of your control, and this stuff just kind of happens.
But moving forward, I don't really, You know, the doctors didn't suggest, and I don't really see any need for dietary changes. Not a single person I talked to thought that that would make any difference at all. They didn't see anything that would warrant that.
And then he kind of uses the word blockage and clot interchangeably. But nonetheless, I looked up the definitions of both of them and what it actually is from the medical definitions of them. And everybody who has a blood clot, the majority of people who have blood clots are unhealthy people, and that's why they get blood clots. It's from atherosclerosis, essentially. This really comes as no surprise to me, as John Meadows himself actually recommends a load of animal products that you need to consume, as he says, proteins that you need to consume according to a few of his videos, or one of his videos at least. And he recommends eating certain amounts of saturated fat and eating fats from animals and all this stuff, all these foods that are not good for human ingestion. I've made a whole bunch of videos on this. I've linked a whole bunch of science to back up everything I'm saying. I'm not talking out of my ass when I say things like this. It's because it's what the science says. The videos that I've seen that John has made, I haven't seen any science linked or anything like that, but I'm not trying to turn this into a pissing contest. I'm just letting you know what the science says. As I've said before on my channel, and I'll say it again, the science doesn't give a shit how you feel or how I feel. The science is what it is, and if you don't like it, too fucking bad, because that's what it is. All this medical talk and science can be such a downer at times, but do you know what's the remedy? Squats. That's just a part of training sometimes. Just get in your head. But I made it. Here to talk a little bit more about this incident that just occurred. So anyways, John Meadows mentioned something about egg yolks, and egg yolks aren't as bad as we think they are, because people, uneducated people, will say something to the effect that egg yolks are bad because they clog your arteries or something like that.
And that's what one of the concerns is with bodybuilding. It's the buildup of plaque. Some of us due to food, some of us due to chemicals and all those things. But there's a fear of dietary cholesterol, for example, and all the plaque that's going to cause. Like if you eat whole eggs, some people, they don't really have much education, so they see a whole egg and they go, "Oh, you're going to get plaque in your arteries."
Well, that's actually true, kind of true, or at least they contribute to clogging of your arteries because they're loaded with dietary cholesterol and saturated fat. What's upsetting about all this is that he said in the video he's not gonna have to change his diet, or he doesn't feel he's gonna have to change his diet because the cardiologist told him this. And that's really disheartening to hear that for a couple of reasons, but the main reason is the fact that how does he think this incident isn't going to happen again if he's not willing to change his diet? I'm under the impression that he thinks that he's eating a perfectly healthy diet that isn't going to be contributory towards the progression of atherosclerosis. Now, he claims that he had a calcium score done and everything was good. They didn't find anything, and that's good to hear, but I wish they would have done more tests besides just that. I think at a moment like this, a coronary CTA scan would have been quite fitting to actually see if there was any blockages or if there was any plaque buildup anywhere else in his arteries that was causing all this. Nonetheless, a coronary CTA scan would have probably given him a better feel, and not only that, actually discussing what his lipid panel looked like, his cholesterol levels look like. I hate to assume, but I'm gonna guess having a diet that has loads of animal products in it that are loaded with saturated fat and cholesterol is not gonna be too kind to those LDL cholesterol levels in your blood. That's just my guess. There's been loads of study to show that elevated levels of LDL cholesterol is highly associated with aggressively increasing your risk of an atherosclerotic event by creating more atherosclerosis within your body. Populations with the lowest LDL cholesterol levels are the populations that have the least amount of atherosclerotic events. All this cholesterol talk is making me lose my pump right now. So, gonna get another set in. It's heavy, but we're gonna get through it. Now, John Meadows also said that he's just gonna listen to what his cardiologist said and just take his medication and all that stuff. And I think for the most part, that's sound advice. As I said before, the only issue that seems to be very apparent is diet. A plant-based diet is the only diet to show to actually reverse coronary artery disease or reverse heart disease. I think if John Meadows went plant-based, I think he'll benefit from it tremendously. And I think he would feel much better. I think he would get even stronger, and he wouldn't have to worry about having a second heart attack, potentially putting himself at risk, at least, to having another atherosclerotic event. Now, by no means am I saying that John Meadows shouldn't be taking his blood thinners or statins or whatever he's been prescribed to be on. I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying that. This guy just had a freaking heart attack, and I'm not going to step into that. I'm just saying in regards to his nutrition, the foods that he's eating has shown, based on science, that they're not good towards treating issues that relate to atherosclerotic events. Just to wrap this video up, my main dude Kevin from Pure Bullfit actually made a video in response to this whole incident that happened with John Meadows, and he pretty much had a call to action to all his viewers that everyone should go to John Meadows' page and support him and just essentially just watch his content as a way of just supporting the guy. And I would agree, I think that's great. That's a very nice thing to do, so you can help him. Hopefully he can get some extra ad revenue, all that stuff to help his family out and help him out during this stressful and horrific incident that just happened and all that stuff. I think that's great. Nonetheless, I will add this though. If anyone does watch those videos, I just recommend that you don't take any of his nutrition advice to heart, because John Meadows doesn't know what he's talking about in regards to nutrition if he's recommending foods that cause or greatly contribute to disease. And I'm talking about the top killers globally, especially in the United States. So if you're gonna watch John Meadows' videos, maybe I'm sure his training videos are great. I don't know, I haven't watched any of them, but in regards to his nutrition, the videos that I have seen already from John Meadows in regards to his nutrition are absolutely horrific. And I'm saying this in regards to science. Now, if John Meadows wants to talk about this, or Pure Bullfit, or anybody wants to talk about nutrition and what is proper nutrition for a human, I'm more than open to talk about it through any forum. I have no problems talking about that. I'm just saying what caused John Meadows' heart attack was most likely his diet. And before anyone starts saying that this is like some type of agenda that I'm trying to pull or whatever, I would say check yourself real quick, because I'm not making shit out of this. If you really want to start talking about agendas and all this shit, look at what John Meadows is pushing, because he's either affiliated or has a supplement company that sells animal products. So I have no agenda. I'm not selling shit to you. John Meadows is. So before you point the finger and say I'm some vegan with a fucking evil agenda, take it easy. Check yourself first, because I ain't selling you shit. I'm just trying to tell you the science. But fuck it. Let's say I am some vegan with an agenda. Is stopping this such a bad thing? What about that? What about this? I hate to tug at everyone's heartstrings here, but it's the reality, and we need to be reminded of it of a constant basis before you go to that restaurant and order that piece of dead flesh. I'm just saying, that's the reality. If it bothers you, then stop buying it, stop supporting it, because you don't need it. It's not good for you, it's bad for you, it's bad for the planet, and it's horrific to the animals. So stop doing it. So I hope we could all learn something from this incident that happened with John Meadows. I'm happy to hear that he was able to survive this. We already know of plenty of other bodybuilders that have had incidents similar to this, and they didn't make it out of it, or they got really injured and they weren't ever the same and stuff like that. So I'm glad to hear that at least he seems okay. And if you're looking to learn and why I am promoting more of a whole foods plant-based diet rather than an animal-based diet, well, you're in luck, because I got a whole playlist showing why animal products are not healthy. Specifically, I titled it just that. There's loads of science, and if you have any qualms, questions, whatever the case may be, feel free to let me know in the comment sections down below, as I love to engage in regards to that, especially if you have science. So point being, eating animal products are not healthy. Stay the fuck away from them. You're a human, you're an herbivore. I know that's not what you think. I know that's what most of us were not brought up to think. Believe me, It took me a while to understand it myself, but you're a damn herbivore. Eat some damn plants, leave the fucking animals alone, get strong, get jacked as fuck, and live your life to the damn fullest. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please let me know what you guys think in the comment sections down below. As you know, I love to engage with every single one of you. Pure Bullfit, if you are watching this, know that I appreciate you, man. You know I mean no disrespect to everything you say and all that stuff. I think you're a well-thought guy. I think you're a great dude as well, too. I hope everything's going good with you and the wifey and your family and all those people around you, buddy. I want to thank you all for watching, and please stay tuned for the next one.